Hello and welcome to New Racing Tutorials. My name is Lloyd James and today we'll be going over the points regression software package in MATLAB. This package pairs with the optimum lap software to generate the amount of points we would gain based off the time improvements. The time improvements can be obtained through running simulations in optimum lap and then entered into this, which provides details on how many points we can expect to gain at competition. This software uses previous year's results to determine how many points we expect to gain based on a predicted difference in time or overall time of a lap. The diffpredict software uses the difference in time and the timepredict software uses the overall time. This software works by importing the team's data from files containing all of the results data and mapping that to the current data that has been entered and the possible improvement that can be gained. It then plots this information in a graph with a readout displaying how many points could be gained. To use these functions, we simply type the name. In this example, we'll use diffpredict that has been updated for 2020. We select our event according to the list in the header and we enter our time difference, which in this case is 0.3. This produces a graph that shows us time difference that we will have and the amount of points we will expect to gain in acceleration event. Part of the reason we use this software is to feed this points gain into either an output of a project results to determine if it will have met its desired criteria or to aid in the selection of projects. That is done through the sub-project selection table that should be opened in Excel. This table contained all of the possible examples we came up with in 2020 on things we could do to improve EV2. These events require the min over the whole thing to contain at least 1 point and the max to also contain at least 1 point. These systems are evaluated to determine the changes in the parameters that are entered into optimum lap as to determine the amount of time that can be saved. Diffpredict can then be used to calculate how many points will be gained in the dynamic events to provide the estimated maximum gain of points. Once this has been calculated, a financial and time cost is then also estimated. Some of these projects are quite inexpensive, while some can be quite expensive. This data is then imported into MATLAB and run through the multi-project selection criteria. Once all the projects have been completed in the Excel spreadsheet, it is useful to download Varicolor as it is probably not present on your computer. This can be done by selecting the add-ons option here. The add-on can be searched for simply in the search box, and it should be the first one that comes up. It's already installed on my computer, however there should be a download button here, and once selected, MATLAB will automatically download and enable this add-on for you. Once the add-on has been downloaded, the script can be run. This script generates two graphs, a bubble plot of all of the parameters that were entered into the Excel spreadsheet, with boxes of boundings representing the time effectiveness and points effectiveness of each option. Projects in the lower right should be avoided as they are both expensive and time consuming, while projects more towards the top right will be cheap and quick relative to the number of points they gain. Depending on whether the team has man hours or spare budget allowances, that can dictate which selections in the expensive or time consuming options are chosen. Since there are so many projects in the selector, this is difficult to read, and another graph has been produced. This graph lists all projects in order of their most cost and time effectiveness regardless of the total bandwidth. Some projects can be slightly less effective at the top of their range, however have less potential range for lower number of points. This can be useful in determining between two options where one is quite large and delivers the potential for only an extra couple of points of competition, with the lowest potential being to deliver very few points. This list is also printed as a list in the command window, again in order of most cost and time effective to least cost and time effective at the top of their brackets. However, it should be noted that some of these may not be possible for this year's car or with the limited resources that the team has. A potential improvement for this software package would be prevention of overrun when entering a time that is in excess of the previous year's times. In this example, it can be seen that the score gain would be 98 points. However, this is not possible in an event where the maximum score is only 75 points. This occurs due to there being no hard limit on the number of points that can be gained in an event. However, it can also be caused by the Australian event not having as superior cars as are present in the overseas competitions. If a hard cap cannot be added, it is suggested to potentially add some results from overseas competitors, which are generally faster than the Australian competitors. However, this can skew towards the team anticipating less points scored at competition and potentially not running with a project that could have netted more points than expected. That is a general overview of how to use the points regression and multi-criteria selection tool packages in MATLAB.